Hi there, so nice that you're watching again. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use paper in your work. So this could be great if you want to integrate paper in your art journal or mixed media projects. First, I'm going to show you what kind of paper are my favorite ones to use. So the paper that I often use is Lokta paper. It's from Nepal. And it's really amazing when you look at the size, the edges of the page, but it's also having a different background. And for this one, it's the same. This is the front and this is the back, but sometimes I just prefer using the back. It's kind of thicker paper. Normally I say the thinner the paper is, the better. But in this case, I really love to use thicker paper. So what I've here is very thin package paper, old paper. This is an envelope. What I also love is Kraft paper. I think this is packaging paper as well. I use it a lot. I adore using old book pages, especially when the edge is yellowed. And here I have a very old book page from 1901. So I love adding these kind of elements in my art journal. And this is also a very yellowed piece of paper. And whatever you can find, you can use. I have some pieces of paper with dried leaves in it, with flower petals in it, pieces of straw. I love straw paper as well. And whatever you can find, you can even use a piece of kitchen towel with a pattern already in it. So that's great. So now I was sharing you 5 ways to use paper in your art journal. Option 1 is to create a layered page with just paper. So on this page, I haven't used paint at all. I just worked with paper. And you see there are very different kinds of paper, thin paper. I use something from Lotus Papery. This is, I think it's a jelly print. This is a jelly print as well. This is just a Kraft piece card. This is a Lokta paper with a pattern on it. This is a piece of wallpaper. This is the, well, kind of leaves, straw-like things. This is a template paper. I don't know what it is, pre-patterned paper. And this pattern I created myself on an old book page, but I come back to that later. So you see, all what I've been creating here is paper. I think this is an exception. This is a piece of fabric. And maybe this is a piece of fabric as well. I don't know. But you could do that with Lokta paper as well. So this is all paper. Oh, this is also a funny detail. This is a tea bag. And I put a little Maria in it. And a pattern piece of craft paper. So this is also option 1. And here I've used paper as well. Here you see how I incorporated the book page with a lovely old school picture on it. I also created some things out of paper with, well, I think kind of skeleton leaves, old leaves. This is packaging paper. And here I created kind of, I think this is the book from the collaboration with Angela. This is something she created, but it's also out of paper. I think she even used things out of magazines. So that's also an option. I don't do that very often, directly using something out of a magazine. But if you do something in your own style with it, it's of course possible. This is, of course, not paper, but this is from a birch tree. But, well, paper is made out of trees. So this kind of paper. I think this is a Lokta paper as well. I see it on because of the edge of the paper. I really adore that. So I think this is a piece of fabric. But you see that you can create a full page with layers, and if you're not satisfied about it, you can simply glue down other elements. And I need to say something about the glue. I mostly use the Amsterdam gel medium, and this is the matte 180. This is the normal one, the regular one, and you can almost paste anything down with it. But if you want to have some heavier things like maybe the Lokta paper or thicker kind of fabric, then I use the extra heavy gel medium. That's the 22, and I always use the matte version, but you can decide that for yourself whether you use that one or the glossy one. Option 2 is kind of the same as here, but then combined with an already painted background. And here you can see that I create a composition with pieces of paper that I added in my book. This is gift paper. This is pattern paper. I think it's an old book page, and I created the pattern myself. And here I found an old leaf. So this is more like mixed media. So I added pumpkins, I added all kind of things. I painted. This background is also painted. These blocks, these areas are painted. And I added pieces of paper just to make it complete and finish it. This pumpkin is also painted on a piece of old book papers. So this is often used to finish off a page and complete a page and make it good composition wise. I think this page isn't finished because this space needs to be filled in, but I will come back to that later, I think. Option 3 is to paint or stamp or design patterns on your paper. What you could do is simply add some patterns to the paper that you have. For example, this one, it's well already a little yellowed, but what I often do is giving my book page a little first layer with acrylic paint. I don't do it too thick, so you can still see the text coming through. And then you can create patterns like this, and you have already a nice color for the background. So in this book are many patterns I will show you to give you a bit of inspiration. So these are all examples of patterns. And some of those I use also for my online class pattern playing, which is called Patronenparadijs in Dutch. And here is a page dedicated to my online class, The Joy of Drawing Patterns. So some of those are also coming back in that course. I all created them in that course. Option 4 is to create a mini collage. And that's what I've been doing here and here. And you can put them directly into your art journal. You could create a collage, and you can make it on a loose piece of paper. You don't have to do it directly in your art journal, and you can decide whether you glue it down in your art journal or not. So when there's a failure, well, it's not really a problem. So I just added some pieces of paper on, I think this is just blue silk paper. It's very thin, or it's rice paper. I think it's silk paper. And And I just added some craft paper, thin paper, a piece of darker blue, and I added a thread of burlap. So it's really fun to do. So these are some old collage that I created before I went into art journaling. And I used this book for inspiration. And the funny thing about this book is that this piece of paper, that's the cover of the book, is also created out of paper only. So this was painted paper, very thin rice paper, and I all glued it down, and it was a larger piece of paper, but because it was so thin, it was torn apart, and then I decided to use it for the cover of this book, but I think it was this size. I have another mini collage for you to show. Some of you might have seen this already. This is a one that I created from pieces of paper, pieces of fabric. It's really a mixed media thing, but I really want to give it to you as an inspiration, because this is a really fun thing to do when you have pieces of paper. And this is also a very nice way where you can use pieces out of magazines. It's a nice thing to work with a kind of color study. I think this part is a piece of fabric, but this one, it came from a magazine as well. It was kind of glossy, but when you glue down some gel medium, then it will be matte. So this is a really fun way to work with paper. 5 is to create something out of paper, like, for example, mixed media flowers or fantasy flowers. So this is another example from a fantasy flower scenery, and I also created an online class about the fantasy flowers, which you can find on my online school, Brave Art Academy. You can find the link of all my courses in the description, of course. In this one, I really found it a great pleasure to work with just paper. There's another video where I tell you more about the Art Journal Weekly things. So I discuss this page in that video. I will put it in the end screen. Finally, this is another fantasy flower example from the book with the collaboration with Angela. So that was it. I hope this gave you a little inspiration to how to use paper in your art journal or mixed media projects. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be happy to see you the next time.